Everyone is talking about Vice-President Kamala Harris's running mate, Minnesota Progressive Governor Tim Walz, who formally accepted the invitation to run as the Democratic Party's nominee for Vice President at a major rally in Philadelphia. Joining me live for discussion is the US Report host, James Morrow. Hi there, James. So VPs historically don't really matter, as in they don't affect the results of the election historically. But what about this time round?
Well, I think this time there's a lot more focus on Tim Walz for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is such a weird and historic time here. You know, 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago, Kamala Harris stepped up to essentially be the new nominee, although that hasn't been formally confirmed yet until the convention of the Democrats. And so her vice presidential pick is brand new. We've only just met him. And I'll tell you what, we're learning a lot of things here that are really, really concerning about his record, what he's been up to, and also claims about military service that he didn't necessarily actually undertake.
So you think that that will affect the credibility of the campaign?
Yeah, look, it affects it a whole lot of ways. You know, Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, was supposed to be, everybody said he was going to be the pick. Pennsylvania has 19 electoral votes, as Annalise was just saying there. But there's a problem. Josh Shapiro is Jewish, and for the Democrats, who are the party of, tolerance and inclusion, well, that was just too much for them because, of course, they've got this whole Hamas wing of the party that's exceedingly pro-Palestine, and they didn't want somebody Jewish on the top of the ticket. Go figure. So they ditched him. They've gone with Tim Walz, and now everybody's digging through his records. This is a guy who, during the pandemic, let BLM rioters torch his city, his biggest city in his state, while also setting up a Dob-in line so that people could, call in violations of their neighbors during lockdown. He's very, very, very pro the whole transgender movement and that whole thing. He even passed legislation and proudly signed legislation forcing schools to put tampon dispensers in boys' bathrooms. So figure that one out. He's got a lot of very strange links to China, including going to China on his honeymoon during the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre. But now there's also word coming out that he claimed a rank he didn't have in the National Guard and claimed service in Afghanistan that he didn't do during the global war on terror. And now people are saying, who is this guy? And I think clearly the thing is that they didn't check him out. They didn't have time to check him out. They needed a candidate, and they thought, oh, well, let's just put the 60-year-old, goofy white guy, he's relatable, in to balance the ticket, and hopefully, we'll get white middle-aged voters who are pro-Trump and down on Kamala. I mean, it was incredibly patronizing to do such a pick in such a manner. And now, of course, they've got a huge number of problems that they've got to answer about this guy.